Leadership is not a title, it's an action, right? And so the more you can learn about how to lead people and the more that you can develop your leadership skills, then the more you are capable of leading and you rise to levels of leadership. Hey, welcome back. It's Rob here with Chapter 7 of Brian Tracy's book, The 21 Success Secrets of Self-Made Millionaires. Chapter 7 is called Dedicate Yourself to Lifelong Learning. And as he points out in the chapter, continuous learning is the key. Right? So let's talk about this chapter and break it down. If you are not a part of the community yet, though, I want to just quickly direct you over to the Soul Source website. That's yoursoulsource.com/resources. You can get signed up there to be a part of the email newsletter, which will also give you my notes for this book so that you can see what I have to write and say about this book as I go through it. And also you can contribute your notes to the discussion. And the community over there is what this is all about. And so everyone learning together. So without further ado, let's jump into chapter 7, okay? So you are smarter and more capable than you could ever imagine. And like Brian Tracy says at the beginning of the chapter, you could continually work on yourself and develop yourself for the rest of your life. And if that's all you did, you still would never come close to tapping your full potential, right? And I don't remember who it was that said most human beings are only using like 3% of their brain or something in terms of the capacity. It may not be that small of a number. It's a very small number that we actually use in terms of what our brains are actually capable of. This is a wonderful thing to find out because it means that we can keep developing and there's just never an end to it. You can always keep developing. There's always something to learn. There's always some way to grow. And as Brian points out in the chapter, you can apply your mind to any situation, any problem, any issue, anything that's facing you in any way, shape, or form. And you can apply your mind to that and you can come up with effective solutions, all right? We are all more capable than we give ourselves credit for. So start giving yourself some more credit and start using that brain of yours, all right? Not that you don't already. But I wanted also to talk about the fact that, leaders are learners, right? And that's a point that Brian Tracy makes in the book as well. Leaders are learners. The people that continuously learn and develop, those are the people who move to levels of leadership, right? Because they are willing to take on all the different things that they need to in order to lead people, right? Leadership is not a title, it's an action, right? And so the more you can learn about how to lead people and the more that you can develop your leadership skills, then the more you are capable of leading and you rise to levels of leadership, right? It's a natural process, right? So leaders are learners, and that means that becoming a lifelong learner is the key to becoming a leader and to having success. And in terms of what he discusses in the book, talking about becoming a self-made millionaire, learning and leadership are huge parts of that, right? Huge elements involved. So I do want to point out that there is kind of a fine line here. You have to balance it, okay? Because we all know people who that's all they do is learn, right? And it's that shiny object syndrome. Every single time a new course comes out or a new seminar or a new book or a new this or that, then they jump on it and they try and learn, and that's all they ever do. And they don't implement any of the information. They don't ever actually do anything with it. And they're just learning and learning and learning and learning because they heard that learning is a great thing, and it is. But you've also got to implement what you're learning, right? You've got to change what you're doing based on what you're learning, or you're just going to continue to get the same results, right? And that's what, again, this community and these videos and this channel is all about. This is about implementing. And that's why I share my notes with you, so that you can see what I'm doing to implement this stuff. And that might give you some new ideas that you hadn't thought of before. And that's why I like to see what you have to say. So drop a comment down below. Drop a comment about something that you are working on learning recently that you have implemented. All right. Talk about implementation in your comment and what you're doing differently as a result, because that's the key, right? That's the secret sauce, is to implement what we're learning. That's the most important thing. So the final real piece of this is the action step. And there are several action steps, really. I'm going to combine them all into kind of one action step. But really, if you broke it down, there are several action steps that Brian Tracy gives in this chapter. The first is to read for 30 to 60 minutes a day in your field, or maybe for personal growth, okay? Or in your business field, one or the other, your career field. Or if you're an entrepreneur, read about entrepreneurship, okay? Reading gives you insight into things that other people know that you wouldn't otherwise find out, right? That's the power of reading. That's why it's so important. That's why it's such a big deal to me personally. And I think to most of you here, you wouldn't be watching these videos, right? You wouldn't be here on my channel. So read for 30, 60 minutes a day, because what that'll do is that'll allow you to read about a book a week on average. And if you read a book a week, and you extrapolate that out over 10 years, as he points out in the book, that's 500 books that you will read over the next 10 years. 500. Think of how much knowledge you can gain and how much you can implement if you are reading 500 books in 10 years, right? 50 books a year. It's astronomical. I mean, the sky's the limit, right? And again, there is so much more out there, and there is so much more to learn. And you can do this for the rest of your life and never tap your full potential. It's crazy how much is out there and how much stuff you can put into your brain. But again, you've got to implement, right? You've got to do the things, okay? Listen to audiobooks and podcasts. That's another thing that he talks about. In the podcast didn't exist when he wrote this book. But he talks about audiobooks, and he says, turn your car into a university on wheels, which I love that expression. And that's what I do. I listen to audiobooks. I listen to podcasts. It's all what I do all the time. And YouTube's become a great place for podcasts now. It's moved on from cat videos, and that was never really a YouTube thing, I know. But it's now developed into a podcast platform, right? And so you can pop on a YouTube video and listen to it on your commute. Maybe even some of these on my channel. And you can learn, all the time because how much time do we spend in our cars? I mean, we spend around maybe on the subway or however you get to work or wherever you're going every day. We spend a lot of time in our commute, right? And a lot of time there's traffic and you get stuck in it. Start learning during that time, okay? I love music. I used to play the guitar and teach guitar lessons. And I still play the guitar just as a hobbyist, but I used to play the guitar in bands and stuff. I was like trying to be a musician, okay? I love music, and I love a lot of different kinds of music. And it was hard for me to stop listening to my favorite music on my commute. It was really hard. And there are times that I still do, okay? Because sometimes it's fun to just, boom, I gotta let go. I gotta relax and I gotta enjoy my tunes, right? And so this doesn't have to be something where you unequivocally completely stop listening to music for the rest of your life, okay? But using your commute time to learn is an absolutely phenomenal way to skyrocket your success, right? So listen to audiobooks and podcasts on your commute. Attend seminars, take courses. Seminars are a wonderful way to learn, because not only are you learning what the speakers are talking about, but there's a ton of people there that you get to network with and communicate with and collaborate with. And you can compare notes and you can talk to them about what they thought of this speaker or that speaker. You can talk about different ways to implement the things that you're going to learn. But here's the danger of this, is the seminar high. Right? We've probably all heard of that. If you've been to seminars before, you know the seminar high. Okay, that's when you learn all this great stuff and you take all these great notes, and you even record. A lot of places, they won't let you record the audio of it or something. But maybe you're at an event where you're allowed to do that. you have recordings, you have notes, you have whatever you have all this stuff in your brain. And then by the time you put your key in the ignition to leave the event, you're just back to what you were doing before anyway, and nothing changes, right? So you've got to be aware of that. And again, going back to what I was first saying, you've got to be aware of the idea that you're just constantly never-ending, you're just learning and learning and learning, and you're never implementing, okay? So again, action. That's what moves the needle. That's what gets us where we want to go. That's what this channel is all about. That's what the community is all about. So if you have gotten some value out of this video, throw a like on here. But most important is comment about the different things that you're doing, okay? The things that you're learning from this channel, or from a seminar you just went to, you just happen to go to, or from a book that you're reading that isn't a part of this channel and what's going on here, whatever it is. Maybe just something that you learned from a coworker, all right? A different way to do things. Drop a comment below about what you're doing to implement different things that you're learning along the way, because implementation is where it's at. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, because you don't want to miss the different things that are coming your way here. This channel is all about sharing knowledge and growing together and succeeding together. So feel free to, again, head over to the website. It's www.yoursoulsource.com/resources. That's where you can go to get signed up for the email newsletter and become a part of the community. I will share my notes. You can share your notes with me. If you give me permission, I will share them with the rest of the community, because that's the whole idea, is to collaborate and win together. So let's go on to Chapter 8. I will see you in the next video with Chapter 8, which is called Pay Yourself First.
I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.